In recent history, only the South Korean blockbuster series Squid Game has managed to create a terribly painful association with numbers and luck. But did you know that Filipinos had seen a real-life situation in the 90s when a Pepsi marketing campaign resulted in a fiasco and even the death of at least 5 people? In this video, we'll take you back to 1992 and retell the story of how a seemingly harmless campaign turned into something so chaotic no one would have even imagined. Stay with us till the end to know all about it. Have you ever taken part in a contest? If you have, then you know how exciting it becomes if you end up winning something. During the 90s, soft drink companies used to run these marketing campaigns, encouraging customers to check their bottle caps for instant prizes. Prizes ranged from free drinks and discounts to more significant rewards like cash or even a chance to win a trip. This created an interactive and engaging experience for consumers, adding excitement to every bottle purchase and making the company some extra profit because of higher sales. You wouldn't think that such a harmless thing could ever harm anyone. But let me tell you, in 1992, Pepsi launched the Number Fever campaign, where bottle caps had unique numbers corresponding to various prizes, promising as much as 1 million pesos, about $37,000 as instant cash. The Philippines at the time was highly influenced by American culture, but the average household income wasn't enough to afford a good lifestyle like that of the Americans. So any chance of winning a lottery would be life-changing for them. Schools and workplaces buzzed with talk about who might be the next lucky winner. The streets were filled with people discussing their hopes and dreams tied to those little bottle caps. It was so popular that Pepsi claimed half of the country's population took part in the contest. When Pepsi launched their campaign, it began innocently enough in February 1992. They allocated an amount of $2 million to be distributed as prize money. People would excitedly gather bottle caps from just about everywhere. Some even say dumpsters and garbage cans, just to get their hands on the winning number. They would sit around TVs and wait for the announcement of the lucky number every night, hoping that their caps held the number. Pepsi would seed 2 winning caps with a pre-decided number anywhere from 001 to 999. And the lucky winner who had the cap would win prizes. This whole thing was like a magic spell for Pepsi. As more and more people joined in, Pepsi saw a crazy increase in sales. The chance to win cash prizes made everyone want to choose Pepsi over other drinks. Sales jumped from $10 million to a whopping $14 million, and Pepsi's popularity soared from 19.4% to an impressive 24.9%. Now, who would stop so much money flowing in, right? So, Pepsi decided to extend the successful campaign for another 5 weeks. But little did they know, this decision is going to cost them a lot in the future. Before we discuss that, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Now let's continue. On the 25th of May 1992, something went terribly wrong. The evening news program TV Patrol announced the winning number 349, but instead of just 2 people having the cap with this number, there were not 2, but hundreds of thousands of them, spread all across the country. Now, 349 had already been decided to be a non-winning number, so the bottling plants were free to print the number as many times as they wished. But thanks to a computer glitch, the numbers got mixed up, and now almost 800,000 caps had the same number. Some people even had dozens of caps with the winning number. The next day, people with the winning caps started rushing to Pepsi bottling plants to see if they had indeed won the prize or not. But the company initially responded with a statement that made the 349 caps plain unredeemable. They said that there had been an error, and those bottle caps didn't have the confirmation security code needed to claim the prize. The public complained that Pepsi's promotional materials didn't say anything about having a winning security number was needed. And that's when no one had it. The next day, public confusion only increased because the local newspapers announced the winning number to be in fact 134. Imagine thousands of people feeling disappointed and betrayed. The initial excitement and anticipation turned into disbelief as Pepsi, a brand they had trusted, refused to honor its commitment. The frustration started to gain momentum, and Pepsi had no other way than to call an emergency meeting at 3 in the morning on the 27th of May to decide how they were going to face such a horrible scenario. What they did is offer a sum of 500 pesos, which is about $18, to the holders of the bottle caps. Many of the protesters thought something is better than nothing, and so 486,170 people accepted the money Pepsi offered. This goodwill gesture cost Pepsi about $8.9 million. But remember, only half of the people could be silenced with this amount, and the rest of them refused to accept this settlement offer. They had other plans. Revenge. About 22,000 people formed an alliance they called the 349 Alliance and took the bold step of organizing a boycott of Pepsi products, leveraging their collective power to send a message to the beverage giant. This grassroots movement aimed to hit Pepsi where it hurts the most, in its sales and reputation. The members of the 349 Alliance became the face of resistance, refusing to let the issue just fade out with time. As a result, Pepsi's total market share went down to 17% and took almost 2 years to return to 21%. They arranged rallies outside the offices of Pepsi-Cola Products Philippines Incorporated and the Philippines government, demanding justice and a thorough investigation to find those who were responsible for this incident. While most of the protests were peaceful, unfortunately, the tensions escalated to a point where there was violence. In one incident, a Molotov bomb, which is a homemade explosive device made with a glass bottle with flammable liquid, such as gasoline, and an ignited cloth or rag as a makeshift wick, was thrown at a Pepsi truck in Manila, leading to a fatal explosion that claimed the lives of a schoolteacher and a 5-year-old kid. In a separate and equally horrifying incident, 3 Pepsi employees lost their lives when a grenade was thrown into a warehouse. The attacks were not limited to individuals, and as many as 37 company trucks faced destruction, being overturned, stoned, or burned. Amid all of this chaos, the Pepsi employees and executives even faced death threats. In the Philippines, an organization called NBI, or National Bureau of Investigation, is responsible for investigating high-profile cases, and they found 3 people guilty of orchestrating these riots. One of those men claimed that Pepsi itself had paid him money to stage these attacks to make the protesters look like terrorists. The country's Senate accused Pepsi of gross negligence, and about 22,000 people decided to take legal action against the company. There were tons of civil suits and criminal complaints for fraud and deception against Pepsi, so they had to pay a small fine of 150,000 pesos for violating the approved promotion conditions. The aftermath continued long after, and in 1996, a court awarded one of the complainers 10,000 pesos, which is less than $400, as moral damages. In 2001, another 30,000 pesos were awarded to 3 people. 14 years after the incident, in 2006, the Supreme Court of the Philippines gave out a statement that Pepsi is not liable to pay the amounts printed on the bottle caps to their holders. This put an end to the Number Fever fiasco once and for all. It has been 30 years since this incident, but many locals who took an active part in the contest and faced all the chaos it created are still traumatized. If you mention the word Pepsi in some groups, they'll likely frown, so a lot of Filipinos don't even mention the brand name. Pepsi was recently asked to comment on this well-publicized incident, but they refused by saying that it has been almost 30 years and none of the executives from that time work with them anymore, although they're really sorry for all the pain and suffering their mistake caused to the people of the Philippines. This event teaches us the fragility of hope and the power of alliance. Companies like Pepsi must tread carefully, ensuring fairness and transparency in their grand campaigns so nothing of the sort ever happens again. Did you like the video? What do you think about the reaction of the public to this mismanagement? Was it justified or a bit too much? Tell us in the comments. Press the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon in another video.